All righty. Well, welcome to tonight's webinar. We have Mr. Steve Sucker on the line with us, as well as one of our former patients, Mr. Wes, who's an owner of a fantastic store in Red River, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about that as the upcoming months come or couple slides come up. What we're really geared for at the Juliette Eye Institute is really putting patients first. And putting patients first means putting their needs, their desires first, obviously with their vision, but really catering to the experience of patients. Dr. Melendez, who's also on the line with us, is a fantastic advocate of that. That's what started the Juliette Eye Institute. The name of Juliette Eye Institute, Juliette, was founded after his mother, Juliette, who has a rare eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa, which causes tunnel vision. And as you can imagine, that's a debilitating eye condition, which leaves the victim basically paralyzed with vision. And so we definitely want to make sure that we preface with that with anything that we do, that we don't do anything for us. For Dr. Melendez, it's not about what or who we are, but rather it's about the mission of the patient. And Dr. Melendez does a fantastic job of showing that to everybody, including myself. And really, my job is to really make sure that our patients are well cared for, and that their experience with Juliette Eye Institute is top notch. And we have every patient has a premium experience at every touch point that they go through, whether that be checkouts or excuse me, check-in, check-outs, technicians, seeing Dr. Melendez or Dr. Baker, who's our optometrists, as well as our surgery schedulers. And we also call them dream makers to really make the dreams of our patients come true with great vision. At this moment, I'm just going to hand it over to Dr. M. If you would like to say a few words as we keep moving and really open up tonight's segment.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for taking time out for this evening's webinar. Thank you, Josh, our marketing director, for putting all the slides together, all of his hard work behind the scenes, and really making this night possible, and all that we do at Juliette Eye Institute. Also, very grateful to have Steve Stucker on the line as well. Steve's just a great friend and a great patient. And we also have one of our current patients, Wes Black, from Red River, super guy, had a very challenging case that we did. Not many people could do the surgery, but we accepted that challenge, and I'm happy to report Wes is 20/20 today after his surgery. So we'll share a little bit about his stories as the night unfolds. Josh, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I'd like to open it up to Mr. Steve Stucker. Steve Stucker's been a patient of ours for some time now. He's really been instrumental, not in just really helping the Juliette to grow, but really with his kindness to the community, his assertiveness to showing people what it means to love other people. And that's why we just have so much respect for Steve, just because he's a fantastic weatherman and is always delivering it for many years confidently. And religiously almost too. So it's very fun in that nature. But Steve's just a stand-up guy, and we just really cherish him as a friend and as a patient. Steve, can you tell us a little bit more about what you went through with your vision journey, maybe before you met us until maybe even
Yeah,
now?
yeah. I always felt like I was a guy that had great vision, never really had any issues at all. And as I started to age a little bit, my friends at the TV station made my job very difficult. They kept shrinking the font on the weather maps and making the numbers smaller and smaller. And I was having to squint to see them because I would look into the camera 8, 10 feet in front of me to see the numbers. I never worked off of a script. They did need to see the numbers for forecast highs and lows, wind speeds, things like that. Well, they went too far, and I realized that I was going to have to start wearing glasses on the air. And I have to tell you, they were not happy about that. They really wanted me to get contacts, and I just couldn't do it. I never had even been able to put in eye drops. I just was queasy about it. I was just overly sensitive and didn't even want to think about it. And I don't know, just because I'm stubborn and hard headed, I just said I'm going to wear glasses. And then not only did I start wearing glasses, but I started getting the big thick frames, the really dark big, very noticeable frames, and people told me I started to look like Al Franken, and I started rethinking that idea. Uh, maybe that wasn't the greatest image, but I wore the glasses on air for quite a few years, and I would buy usually 4 pair at a time every couple of years when I would get my eyes checked. And I started off with very light prescription, was told really you only need it for reading. And that's the reason I had them on air, because I was reading those numbers. But each time I would go back about every 2 years, the prescription would get a little stronger and a little stronger. And I was told that that was fairly natural progression and nothing to worry about. But about 2 years ago, I started noticing my eyes were watering a lot, especially in the evening when I would sit down to read my Bible. And one evening, without even thinking about it, I closed my right eye, had my glasses on, and with the prescription, I could not see any of the letters on the page out of my left eye. And I sort of panicked and called Dr. Melendez's office, set up an appointment. I had been over there a number of times before, just for checkups and things like that. Had grown to really know and really trust Rob and his skill, and especially his manner with the patients and the way we were treated over there. He said to come on in. And to my shock, when I went in for the examination, he told me I had the beginning of cataracts, which I had no clue about. He explained that they were not yet bad enough to require surgery, not bad enough that insurance would pay for it as a surgery, but explained that over the next several years, they would get worse and worse until the point that I would have to have surgery. But that was just part of my problem. The other thing was that the vision in this eye had gone down to 20/80, and I have no idea what caused that, why it was so sudden over a couple of years of time since the previous prescription. But I was really at a loss as to what to do. And Dr. Melendez started talking to me about some different options. And again, I have to go back and reference the fact that here was a guy that's afraid to put contacts in, and I'm talking to somebody about going in and doing surgery on my eye. And ooh, that was not something that was easy for me to even contemplate. But Rob was really good about explaining what would happen and walking through several different scenarios and options that would be available for me. Now, I should say that, oh gosh, maybe 10, 12 years earlier, maybe even before that, before I knew Dr. Melendez, I had gone to get a consultation about possibly getting LASIK when that was brand new. And I was told, well, you have astigmatism, and we could do this surgery, but you're still going to need glasses in order to read. And I thought, well, what's the use of doing that? And mentioned that to Dr. Rob. Of course, he was aware of that from the exam, and he came up with what he felt was the best option for me, which is I think I've learned to say this right after two years, but refractive lens exchange. Did I get that right, Dr. Rob? I'm not very good on big words and terms like that, and it sounds complicated. And I tell people my simple man's way of explaining it is I tell people is that I have artificial lenses, artificial trifocals that have been inserted into my eye. They surgically took out my natural lenses and replaced them with trifocals, which I was wearing in 4 pair of glasses, which I could never find, by the way. Even with 4 pair, I'd spend half the day looking for them. And we went in. I was treated like royalty, and I always kind of look around and pay attention to what's going on with other people, and every single person in the place was treated exactly the same way. Well, I wasn't getting any special treatment. It was just the way that everybody operated. I was put in a really comfortable room to wait. I was waiting for the sedative, which I was told that I would get, and it came in, you know, in the form of a little tiny pill that I put under my tongue, and 10 minutes later, they walked me into the room, and to my surprise, I was awake during the procedure. I remembered then that I had been told that earlier that I would be, but I suppose I kind of pushed it out of my mind again from the fear factor thing. But I was comfortable. I wasn't in any pain at all. I was aware of what was going on. I was just instructed to look different directions, to look toward the light, to look towards another light, and I was stunned at how quickly it was over. And forgive me for not knowing the exact time, but I would estimate that it was 20, 25 minutes max, and both eyes were done. And I was taken back out and examined and given a little time to rest. And I came home, and I don't exactly remember the instructions or what I was told from that exact day. But the next day I woke up and things were a little surreal, a little, I would say, sort of gray, not fuzzy, but just sort of gray. And Dr. Rob called a couple of times to check on me to see how things were progressing, and I was told that was normal, that was perfectly on schedule. Um, the second time the call came in, I mentioned that I had a little bit of a headache in one of my temples. It wasn't awful, but it was noticeable, and I don't normally get headaches. And Dr. Melendez says, "Oh, that shouldn't be happening. Let's get on that right away." And my wife took me over, and he gave me a quick examination and said, "Okay, we're going to change over the eye drops," and we changed to a different style of eye drop, and boom, and that was it. And that was the total pain for the total procedure. And by the second day, my eyes cleared up. I could see. I was tickled pink. I was just really amazed at how much easier everything was to see, to read, and then again, I don't remember the exact time frame, but Dr. Melendez called a couple of times to check on me through those first couple of days and had me come back in and take an eye test. And then that's when he started laying it on a little thick. He told me I could be a fighter pilot because my eyesight was good enough to qualify. And I think I got down to 2010, and I think you even did one reading there at the very beginning when it was 2025 vision. And it's just been terrific. It's been a great experience, and I truly enjoy telling people about it everywhere I go. People walk up to me from having seen the ads that we do, and they say, "Hey, I want to see like Steve. You know where I could find him?" Or some funny comment like that. And they ask me very often. They say, "You is it really that good? Do you really believe it?" And then I tell them, I wouldn't do the spots if that wasn't the case. I not only believe in the procedure, but I'm a big fan of Dr. Melendez with his technical skill, with his commitment to caring for people and making sure that everything is just right. I really felt like almost like I was getting concierge treatment at a very expensive hotel, like I was at the Ritz, and it's continued since then. And I think in April will be 2 years since I actually had the surgery, and gosh, it's just been a beautiful experience.
Thanks for that, Steve. That's fantastic. That's such a cool story. I love the fighter pilot vision part of it too. It's always fun to hear that one
Yeah,
as it progresses, because it's like, should I
as if
go
I could
enlist
fit
right
into
now?
the seat there.
Yeah. Steve, can you tell us a little bit more about what you love doing now that you probably couldn't have done before, like with glasses, or have been kind of a frustrating component?
Well, I've always been a pretty active person, and I like to be in the outdoors a lot. And I'm also a big reader. I write almost every day. You know, I left television and radio, a 48-year career, to do ministry full time, and so I'm spending a lot of time reading and writing, and gosh, that is just so much easier. I don't know exactly what had happened that my eyesight in the left side just cratered the way that it did, but it was just my body's time to go that way, and I don't have any problems now, except for every once in a while, still all this time later, I'll look around and go, "Where are my glasses? Oh, I don't have glasses. I don't need them anymore." And I keep an old pair around with the old prescription in it, and I actually bought a pair with clear glass just for when I want that cool look of glasses. I think I've only done that maybe one or two times since then, because
Yeah.
it's just so freeing. So it allows me, whenever I would do beekeeping and I had my glasses on, I'd have to be looking down and my glasses would fall or they'd slide off. Cleaning them, I was horrible at cleaning my glasses. My wife would be so embarrassed. When's the last time you cleaned those glasses? And would have to take them off and wipe them off for me, and breaking them and losing them. And so, anything outdoors, whether it's spending time at the pool or the beekeeping, riding my motorcycle, there's just it's really great, and I've had fun too, just in very casual social settings. It was shortly after the surgery when I was doing my goodbye tour, the Thank You New Mexico tour that the station set up for me, and Richard Estrada and his wife were traveling with me, and we went into a nice restaurant and we were waiting in the lobby, and she asked something about the menu, and it was kind of a dark area, kind of you know wasn't wasn't completely black, but it was very low light. They were setting the mood, and she asked a question, and I said, "Oh, well, it's right there at the bottom of the menu." And I read what it said, and she looked at me stunned and said, "You can read that?" And I wasn't trying to show off. I didn't even think about it. It was just natural. So I've been very, very happy. I'm at that age where I'm starting to have to take some more medicines and things like that. And I can usually read even the teeny tiny print on prescription bottles and things like that. The advertisements where they really don't want you to read the things that they put in such small print to almost make it impossible. And I have found that if I can get light on something, I can read it no matter what the size is. And so if something is a little hard for me to see, I just pop on the light in my cell phone, and boom, and I can pick it up no problem. And people are amazed, and I still don't understand the technology, and I don't know if my layman's explanation of it being um, artificial trifocals is actually accurate or not, but I can see close up, I can see medium distance, I can see long distance. And people have asked me, well, do you have to look up and down like you did with your glasses? No, not really at all. The only thing I've noticed is that sometimes with reading, I might move it a little bit closer if the reading is really small, something that's like a notation at the bottom of the page, and then move it back to the normal space that would be on the table or on my lap to read it. And it's uh it's just been terrific. It's been a lot of fun. And again, um, everywhere I go around the state, people that are complete strangers will walk up and ask about the commercials, and it's been fun to do them. We've done a variety of things, but the main part is that we're just telling the truth about what the Juliette Eye Institute has been able to do for me and my vision, and I'm excited to share that with people, because I just I see what it's done for me. And the other part of it I should say is that I've had so many people follow up. They'll call me and ask and say, well, okay, I'm going to go in. I've had some personal friends that know my number, and will tell me they're going to get the consultation, and they will call me afterwards and say, "Oh my gosh, I did it, and I'm so glad I did, and thank you for telling me about it." And I have, you know, I don't want, I don't believe in superstition. I don't want to jinx anything, but I haven't had a single complaint in almost 2 years from all the people that I've recommended it to. And on the flip side of that, um, I've talked to people who have done other things through other providers, have not been happy with it. I've had some good friends in other communities, other cities, other states that have had somewhat similar procedures, and it just hasn't worked out for them. So I am a big believer that it's not just the procedure, but whose hands it's in. And I know Dr. Rob well enough to know that he prides himself on staying on the leading edge of the latest technology and information that's available, and then providing that along with first class service. And that's so important today. You can have the greatest surgeon in the world, but if they can't explain things to you, or they won't take the time, or they don't want to be bothered with going through step by step what you can expect and what you're going to experience, then that really takes away from what you receive. And Juliette Eye Institute with Dr. Rob, they're the real deal, and I have no qualms at all about recommending them for any situation. And you know, I have not yet talked to anybody who's gone in to see you guys and come to me and said, "Well, they told me they couldn't do it, that the problem was too technical or too detailed." I'm sure there might be things that you guys don't do, or rare instances, but I haven't come across that yet, and it's just really a kick for me to be associated with it.
Thank you, Steve. That was well said. We really appreciate your vote of confidence in us, and we really appreciate you being on the call. Speaking of friends and potential others that have heard your own radio ads or TV ads, we actually joined with Mr. Wes Black here tonight, who actually saw your TV commercial and decided to give us a call. And it's like, hey, I know Steve. I want to see like Steve. And so we have one more. Patient of ours to give a real good testimonial of kind of his experience. His experience is a little bit more unique to him, as is everybody's. But his, we want to make sure to really refine his vision to another level that would best fit him, his lifestyle, and to really accommodate those things. And as it is for us tonight, I'd love to welcome Mr. West. He's actually joining us from Red River, which is fantastic. We love Red River. Wes, tell us a little bit more about you, about the company you represent, and then we can move into your journey with us.
Thanks for having me. Yes, Wes Black, as I was introduced. My wife and I, we own the Candy Crate of Red River. And I was up one night watching TV and saw Steve Stucker's commercial, and I just happened to reverse it and get the number, and the next day call and got in to see um, for a consult, and was just, I didn't think I had cataracts either. And they're like, "Well, you got cataracts." I'm like, "I do?" They're like, "Yeah." So the biggest thing was my vision had gotten so bad, my contact lenses were negative 10s. And I wasn't sure what I was going to be able to do after that. And I knew something needed to be done. And with the lens exchange, looked like such a great thing. Um, Unfortunately, that I had such bad vision. I had some um, I had to get some retina stuff done from the retina specialist. I had a little detachment, so they had to go in and do a little laser, and that was twice on one eye and once on the other eye before I could ever even get the exchange done. So it was a long process, but it was well worth it.
That's fantastic. For those that are joining us as well, Wes actually had two different procedures with us. The first being refractive lens exchange, where we replaced the eye's natural lens for a bionic lens. And I believe you did get the same lenses, Steve, too, right? The trifocal near
I
intermediate
did.
distance, which is fantastic. And then so we enabled you to see at your very best, but it sounds like we actually get to do one more procedure too to really refine that vision. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I actually have had 4 procedures there. I had the stents put in when I had the lens exchange, and then I had LASIK to follow up for the distance, and then I just recently had the polish on the backside done.
Nice, nice.
So
And how are you seeing now, Wes? How's your vision
I'm
today?
I'm seeing great. It's
That's awesome.
amazing. It's like I recommend it to everybody. So
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's something that, is unique to everybody, right? Not everyone's eyes are the same. Speaking as a
mhm,
patient, even myself, I had a surgery done 3 years ago now. One eye took a little bit longer. The other eye was 2015 the next day. And so
mhm,
the point in why we brought Wes on tonight too is because everyone has an expectation with something medical of like they're expecting next day results, but that's not always the case. What we're expecting is for everything that we're going to take all your health concerns into account, and we want to baby your eyes as much as we can and take care of them. So then that way, look at you now, Wes. You're so excited about your vision. I know it was a long process. I know you're from Red River, so it's a little bit of a
it
drive.
was.
But I
Yes,
bet you could say now that it's well worth the time. It's well worth the effort. I can imagine.
it is, and that was the great thing too, because I could have came in and with the retina tears that I had, you know, Dr. M could have just done the surgery and be like, "Yeah, I don't care about that." But he's like, I don't know if there's anything, but I'm going to send you over to the retina specialist just to see." And so that process took 3 months of the healing for that before I could get the exchange done. And then I did one exchange, the right eye on Monday, and went and rested at the hotel for 4 hours, went out to or at the hotel, went out to a restaurant that evening and was reading the menu.
Wow.
It was crazy. I'm just like,
That is
I
super
can
cool.
see this menu. It's like, it was awesome. So,
That is
and
super
then
cool.
Wednesday had the left eye done, and it was the same.
That's fantastic, Wes.
And it, it was amazing, just amazing. That's all I can say.
That's terrific. We're actually showing a picture right now of you and Dr. Melendez, you holding the refractive lens exchange sign in your right
Yes.
hand, and also the LASIK sign in your left hand too, which really just shows that we're really just committed to your last comment, to making sure that your vision is well worth the time, the energy, as well as the future, right? Because we're looking for longevity, and that's what you're entrusting in us, and that's what we are hoping to offer and to give to. So very, very cool stuff. Wes, what's one thing um, that you would recommend to somebody who's looking into something like this for their future vision? Eyes are scary, right? I mean, it's definitely something that you have to overcome.
Eyes are eyes
Yeah,
are very scary. I have so many people are like, "Oh my," when I explained in detail how the procedure was, what the surgery was, and it was 8 to 10 minutes for both eye. I mean, it was not long at all.
Yeah.
And they're just like, "You weren't scared?" And I'm like, "No, because I was seeing the future for what was going on with my eyes." It's like deterioration. My glasses were so heavy. They put indentions on my nose. It hurt. And it was like being able to see like I am now is so worth it. And, you know, I actually was sitting in there on my last appointment when I was getting the polishes on the back, and there was a girl in there that was looking to get the exchange done. And I told her that I just had that done, and she asked me about it, and I said, "Well worth it." I said, "It was awesome." And she was like, "That makes me feel a lot better." So just being able to help people understand that this is an awesome procedure.
No, thank you. Yeah, that's amazing. It means so much to us because it's hard to convey those things. So we do this all day, every day, right? So we're kind of used to it.
Yes.
But for those that are just walking
Mhm.
into it, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even put contacts in to Steve's point, right? Like
Yes.
I don't like touching my eyes. But to know that there's a team that's you know, responsible and excited for you, as well
Yes.
as the ability to be quick, to be fast with the experience that Dr. Melendez gives, as well as to couple that with the latest technology to actually make it fast. You know, what
Yes.
goes into the encompassing picture of investing in your vision, right? So appreciate that. Very
Absolutely.
good. Well, thank you so much, you both for coming on tonight. We really appreciate you. We just have some more fun stuff as we move forward tonight. We have a little PowerPoint that we're gonna enable Dr. Melendez to help us run tonight. We're also going to be talking about what it looks like to have a vision correction surgery here at the Juliette Eye Institute, and some questions that we have. And Dr. Melendez, we'd love to hear your last comments as we thank our panelists for tonight's comments.
Sure. Thank you, Josh. And thank you, Steve and Wes, for sharing your personal stories. It never gets old for us at Juliette Eye
Welcome.
Institute to hear how your lives have really been changed, transformed. We're grateful to be given the ability to help patients see, at their very, very best. And I'd say 99% of our patients are just like you. Everyone is unique. Wes, you had a very unique condition where you had a retina problem, you have glaucoma, which required stents. Your prescription was so high that the lens exchange could only treat about 80% of the way there. So we had to couple the lens exchange with LASIK and fix the remaining 20% to get you to the 20/20. Otherwise, there wasn't a technology by itself to really treat like we did with Steve. Steve needed the lens exchange just once, just like many, probably like 90, probably 95% of our patients just need one surgery and they got a home run. Wes, your case was very unique. You got to home plate. It just took a couple, 2 to 3 bases to actually get you there. But we're so happy that you are there, and we're excited to bring in more patients, help them see at their very best. We have lots of options. You'll hear tonight. We have 6 different vision correction procedures to help restore your vision, whether it's nearsightedness, farsightedness, or astigmatism. Don't get caught up in the big words. That's our job. But we, coupled with all of our different technologies that we offer, we can for the most part treat almost any eye that comes in the door. There's certain rare exceptions to that, but generally speaking, we can pretty much fix almost every eye condition.
Thank you, Dr. Melendez. And thank you to our panelists tonight. We really appreciate you, Steve and Wes. You guys are fantastic. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And thank you for being a part of our vision seminar tonight. We're going to continue moving on with basically what we want from every patient. What we talk about with every patient as they come in are what are your visual goals? It's easy to say, let's do LASIK, let's do this. To Dr. Melendez's point of a particular procedure, we're not going to get caught up on names or anything like that. We want to focus on what do you want to do after surgery, right? For me, as I mentioned, I was a prior patient. I love playing basketball. I love working out. I love playing high intensity sports. I didn't really care about the procedure name or whichever. What I really cared about was how am I going to see after surgery so I don't have to be relying on glasses or corrective eyewear. That was my main concern. And so if this is something that you've been considering for a while in reference to getting out of your contacts, glasses, or even reading glasses, this is the seminar for you. This can be highly educational, highly impactful. We have Dr. Melendez on with us tonight, so that way he can answer all of these questions when it comes to your visual goals. What we've been seeing a lot lately with our patients is a lot of our patients love doing outdoor things. One of the best things that I've seen our patients do is going fishing. We have even one of my own buddies got the Evo ICL, or implantable columnar lens, implanted in about a year and a half ago. And he loves going to the San Juan River and fishing. Before, he had to take his big old thick Coke bottle glasses and really kind of struggle through that, because then he wasn't able to get his glasses that were polarized to help see the fish in the water, and enable him to get a better position. He had to kind of struggle through that and kind of, fill the ground, if you will, to figure out where the best fishing spot was. And so being able to help patients like that see at their best with normal vision 20/20, and then get a really high intense sunglasses that are polarized, to see and love what they do, right? And that's what we're really challenging everyone on this call tonight, is to challenge what the standard is for your vision. Is your standard contacts? Is your standard glasses? We can make that better. We can free you from those types of things. And then, of course, in the second image too, we also see a lot of people love going outdoors, hiking, being in dusty dirt environments, right? It's not always best when you have glasses on, or even contacts, to say the least. If you get one bit of dust in those contacts, man, you're out for a little bit. Hopefully you brought a little extra pair of contacts or some solution just to make sure that those things are okay. But really, you don't have to think about having to bring those things when you have a goal of what you want after surgery. And so we love to challenge these things. What are some limitations that you find with glasses, contacts, or even reading glasses? Dr. Melendez, what have you seen from patients that really have these type of limitations, that really are stopping people from, enjoying their life? I mean, what are some examples that you've heard from prior patients?
Sure. Thank you, Josh. We hear lots of complaints from patients. I'll give you a few examples. For those patients who reached around 45 and older, they're starting to use readers. Ladies in particular come in and say, I don't want to look like a grandma. I feel like I'm an old lady having to wear these reading glasses. I can't see my dashboard very well. I got to put my readers on to even read a menu, see my phone. And they look older. And so I'd say that's one of the biggest issues that we see in patients older than 45. Those patients older than, let's say, around 65, they start to develop cataracts. And that's where the lens starts to turn yellow and a little brown, and that limits patients' vision. They'll typically complain of trouble seeing at night, trouble seeing up close, focusing, needing more light to see objects. And then younger patients, those patients, Josh, like yourself, between ages of 18 and around 40, those are younger patients, very active. Josh was very interested in doing lots of sports, but having to wear contacts and glasses, it's very difficult to play sports with glasses on. Or if you're outdoors and you don't want to wear glasses, maybe you want to wear sunglasses. Well, how do you wear sunglasses if you got your regular glasses on? Then you have to make that investment in a second pair of prescription sunglasses. So that's another big complaint that I hear, is it's expensive having to spend money on glasses, sunglasses. And if you're wearing contacts, then you have to you have to pay for the contacts, the solution. And if you tear them in the middle of an activity and don't have a backup, that's a big issue. Athletes at the University of New Mexico, along with other sports at the high school level, those athletes that do wear contact lenses, all of them can attest that if they just touch their eye the wrong way and the contact maybe rotates or falls out of their eye, the game is over for them. They cannot finish the rest of the game. And if they do, they're not working at their optimal level. So we hear lots of stories. We never hold that against anyone. We're really here to really listen to patients, hear their concerns, meet them where they are, and then match the best technology to help them see at their best, Josh. We have so many young, happy patients, 18 to 45. They usually choose one of the cornea-based surgeries, SMILE, which is the newest version of LASIK surgery, LASIK or PRK or ICL, it's implantable columnar lens. And then those patients 45 to about 60 choose the refractive lens exchange, as we heard tonight from Steve Stucker and Wes Black, also very happy patients. Then, of course, those patients older than 65, they'll choose premium refractive surgery, also lens exchange. And we'll talk about some lens options if we have time for that.
Very good. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's actually some of our slides that we're going to be moving through tonight. I really want to hone in on what you mentioned. You said that, you don't hold it against anyone with what they bring to the table, but really what it sounds like to me, if just listening as a spectator, is that you're really a problem solver, right? I mean, you're really a journey guide through someone's vision journey, and you're just here to offer a problem, or a solution rather, to a problem that patients can really feel confident and secure in, to give them lasting vision and more along the lines of confident vision, so that way they can do the things they love without having to be compromised with having to lose a contact in a game. I mean, I've done that before too. You're right. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. And so it's refreshing to hear those things, especially coming from a patient myself, and now working with you and the Juliette Eye Institute to really make dreams for patients come true, is well worth my time, and it's exciting and I love it. As you can tell from my energy, just because it's so much fun. You get to see transformation happening daily. Dr. Melendez, you mentioned some of the different options for patients. I didn't want you to skim through those too quickly. So if we can go back to them,
Mhm.
that would be terrific. You mentioned some laser options, as well as a lens option for a particular age. Can we start with PRK, maybe some history, and then move on to Evo ICL, if that's okay?
Absolutely. So at the Juliette Eye Institute, we're the only practice in New Mexico to offer all 6 customized vision correcting procedures. So there's 6 in the world. We happen to offer all of them here in New Mexico. We're very proud of that. We've committed ourselves to using the most advanced technology. Some practices might claim that, but in reality, we'll set the record straight on that tonight, Josh. So let's kind of walk through some of these procedures. The first one is PRK. That's the oldest version of LASIK surgery, FDA approved in 1995. We still use it today for those patients in particular who have very thin corneas. I served in the military. PRK was really, there was a lot of research that went in to PRK with the military. Our military personnel back in the day were only allowed to have PRK surgery to correct their vision, because with LASIK surgery, there's a flap that's created, which is a thin piece of tissue that's created in the cornea, and then a laser is used to reshape the surface of the eye. PRK, there was no flap. And then as we move forward, LASIK became acceptable within the military system to correct nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism. LASIK is a faster recovery that next day. You're already seeing very, very well, but you do want to be very careful in touching the eye. So if you're an individual like a military personnel that is at risk of moving the flap, or you're an athlete where there's a high risk of someone touching your eye, or you rubbing your eye, or even you're an eye rubber at that. Some people tend to rub their eyes a lot, not just from allergies. Some people just love to rub their eyes. Then you're not a really good LASIK candidate. You're probably a better PRK candidate. But as we move forward, Josh, LASIK was approved, FDA approved in 1999. So it's been out for a very long time, proven track record. But there's newer technology out. And so we're proud to say that we're the only practice in Albuquerque to offer the latest version of LASIK surgery. And that's smile surgery. There's no flap with smile surgery, very quick recovery, like LASIK that next day. Josh had smile surgery in both eyes. It's approved for nearsightedness and astigmatism. That's really the most common prescription out there, is nearsightedness with astigmatism. It's a very quick surgery, under 5 minutes, just like LASIK. But the big advantage for smile, twofold. One, if you're an active athlete, doing sports, things like that, and you don't want to run that risk of moving that flap, then you should choose smile. The second benefit of smile, of course, is if you have a history of dry eyes. If you have a history of dry eyes, we will not do LASIK on you. And if you read some horror stories online, it's usually in the setting of a patient having dry eyes who underwent LASIK surgery and are not happy with their vision. Their vision's fluctuating because of the dryness. Smile has a much lower risk of dry eyes, and really the lowest risk out of all these 4 options here. is the EVO ICL. The EVO ICL is really becoming one of our more popular surgeries. This is a lens-based procedure for those patients who have higher levels of nearsightedness, who have never qualified for LASIK before. So if you're someone that's listening to this webinar and you've been told before that you're not a good LASIK candidate, come in, let's evaluate you. Let's make sure that everything looks normal with your eye exam and see if you might qualify for something that's even better. The EVO ICL, it's a lens procedure, takes about 7 minutes per eye. We do both eyes on the same day, just like all these other procedures you see on the slide. Very quick recovery, no risk of dry eyes at all with the ICL, and we have very, very happy patients with that option. So we don't focus just on one technology. What we try to focus on is your own prescription, what your eyes are like, and depending on what your issues are, and your prescription. And then we tailor the best procedure for you. And I think that's really the take-home message is if you've been told no, that you're not a good candidate for LASIK, come in, let's talk about other options, possible options for you. And if you are a good candidate, I'll give you a strong recommendation as to what's the best technology for you.
That's perfect. No, well said, Dr. Melendez. It's great to know that there's specialty options for patients that are of a certain age, right? And as you can see on the slide, this is what options are there for those 18 to 40. All right. So then the next question has to be, well, what if I'm 45, Dr. M? Are you saying that these aren't the best for me? Is there something that's meant for my age? And what would you have to say for that, Dr. M?
Sure. So let's say you're 45. Uh, if we were to do LASIK on a 45-year-old, you're going to need to wear reading glasses the next day. If you're okay with that, then we'll do LASIK on you. It's rare that we do LASIK on a 45-year-old. The way we did it before, and that's 5 years ago, we would do just monovision LASIK surgery or monovision smile. And what is that? Monovision is where we correct someone's eyes. One eye is focused far away, and that's usually your dominant eye. And then we focus the other eye up close. That's called monovision. So nothing wrong with monovision, still works. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people get headaches and blurred vision. Nighttime vision's not the best with monovision. And with monovision, you don't have stereo vision. Stereo vision, of course, is where if you're doing any near tasks, you only have one eye that's focused up close. So if you're doing fine detail, you want the other eye focused up close so you can see in 3D or stereo vision. So we have a better option. If you're 45 and older, even 40 and older, but the average age is around 45, that we start talking about refractive lens exchange or just lens exchange, because the word refractive is a mouthful, and I'll explain what that word means in just a second. So with ROE, what we're doing is we're exchanging your natural lens for a new lens, and the most frequent lens that we use on the market is the PanOptix trifocal lens. We offer all the lenses that are available in the US at Juliette Eye Institute. We won't go into too many details on those different lenses, but we offer all of them. And depending on what your visual needs are, I'll offer the recommendation for you as to what's the best lens for you. But the most frequent lens used in the US and around the world is the PanOptix trifocal lens. That's our preferred lens implant. We have some other ones, as I mentioned. We'll talk about that once you're in the clinic to see which one's a better fit for your eyes. But if you're trying to see up close, intermediate, and distance with both eyes, then the refractive lens exchange is your best option if you're older than 40, Josh.
That's fantastic, Dr. Melendez. Oftentimes what I hear, because I do a lot of surgery scheduling too, is, well, what if I have astigmatism, high levels of astigmatism? Does this lens cover that at all?
So with the refractive lens exchange, the answer is yes. We do correct astigmatism, correct nearsightedness, correct farsightedness. And if your astigmatism, let's say, Josh, for instance, your astigmatism is too high, as we heard earlier tonight from one of our patients, when your prescription is too high and this lens exchange can only treat, let's say, 80% of the prescription, that's okay. We have other technologies in the building to correct the rest of the prescription.
That's fantastic. And it's definitely a well asked question, and I appreciate the answer because it helps us really help patients get a better, clear answer. Obviously, not being medical, but being giving patients the hope, right, of really understanding there are more options than if someone down the road has told you no.
Mhm.
And so it's really it means a lot to us, and I'm sure to our patients as well. Just knowing those things. Dr. M, as you can imagine, you know, the age cutoff says 59, 60. What if I'm 65? What if I'm 70? What options do I have from that point?
Sure. So let's talk about just the normal progression of vision. When all of us reach around the age of 50, the lens in the eye starts to turn a little yellow. You reach 60, it starts to harden and now starts to turn into what's called a cataract. Just because you have a cataract doesn't mean that you need it removed. Your insurance will actually pay to remove the cataract when it gets dense enough, dark enough, thick enough, so to speak. Then your insurance will help pay for a portion of your surgery. And so that's called cataract surgery. We do a lot of what's called premium cataract surgery, where we use laser technologies, we use the most advanced lens technologies. These are for patients who are interested in being out of their glasses. They want to see up close, computer, distance, no glasses. And so if you're 65 and older, generally speaking, you probably have a cataract that's mature enough where insurance will help pay for part of the surgery. So then we would put you in our cataract surgery category, but it's really the same surgery as the refractive lens exchange. We're just taking your cataract out, which is a cloudy lens, and replacing it with the new lens. Another frequent question that we get asked, Josh, is what is refractive lens exchange? What does that refractive word really mean? Well, if we look at what refractive error means, there's examples of a refractive error that's nearsightedness, which means you can see near without your glasses. There's farsightedness, and there's astigmatism. Astigmatism is just an irregular curvature of the cornea, which is an example of a refractive error. Farsightedness, also an example of a refractive error, as well as nearsightedness. So all those are refractive errors. So we're going to correct those refractive errors by exchanging your lens, hence the name refractive lens exchange. With premium cataract surgery, we're doing the same thing. We're removing your cataract, your cloudy lens, and exchanging it for a really advanced technology lens. These lenses have been out on the market for over 20 years, but the latest lenses that we've seen go to new heights where you can see near, intermediate, and distance have only really been out within the last 5 years. That's probably why you're hearing more about these refractive lens exchange surgeries. You're hearing more about premium refractive or premium cataract surgery because of the newer lens technologies. And in 2025, which is coming up very soon, there's basically going to be three new lenses hitting the national market. Um, and I'm happy to report that we have access to all of them already. So if you're interested in learning about the latest lens technologies, Josh in just a moment will share some information with you, how to reach us, how to contact us to get your complimentary consultation scheduled. We'll talk about make sure your eyes are healthy. That's really my most important job. Assuming your eyes are healthy, then we'll move to the next phase and talk about what's the best procedure for you. And then if we choose a lens-based surgery, then we'll talk about what's the best lens option for you.
That's terrific. And that leads us to our one of our following slides here, really going over a brief overview of what Dr. Melendez was going through. And that's age ranges for visual treatments, 18 to 40, SMILE, LASIK, um, and PRK, 21 to about 40, 45, EVO ICL, refractive lens exchange, anywhere from 41 to about 59, and of course 60 plus cataract surgery, just so you can take a quick synopsis, take a quick picture of what that looks like. So if you do find yourselves in this, you have more resources to look for on our website, julietteeye.com. So that way you can do your digging, do your due diligence before coming in. So then that way we can ask the right questions. Obviously, we'll give you a recommendation beforehand, but just so that way you have some good comprehension of the age ranges there as well. Some most commonly asked questions that we have, Dr. M, and it sounds like you've answered a lot of them, so we really appreciate that. What if we have astigmatism? What does that look like? I think you answered that. Most of all of our procedures do correct astigmatism, and then if it doesn't, then we introduce another procedure, like if it's RLE plus LASIK, which is great. Do you have anything else to comment on with this question, Dr. M?
Sure. I wanted to address that third question, and that's what if I've had prior eye surgery? So for instance, patients who've had prior LASIK, we're seeing a lot of these patients who've had LASIK 10, 20, 30 years ago, and they think there's nothing that can be done for them, Josh. And we're excited to report that there's something available for you. And we're happy to report that we're the first in Albuquerque to offer the light adjustable lens. There's also what's called the light adjustable lens plus. That's also available. We're proud to say that we're the first to offer that in New Mexico. We're not saying we're just the most advanced technology. We're really committed to the highest standard, highest premium outcomes. And we're committed to that by starting our own research center, Josh. We started our own research center about 3 years ago, where we are usually doing anywhere from 2 to 3 research studies per year. You might qualify for that and potentially even qualify for savings to be part of one of our research studies. But let's talk a little bit about the light adjustable lens. That's a lens implant that we use for refractive lens exchange, as well as for cataract surgery if you've had prior LASIK, you've had prior PRK, photorefractive keratectomy, or you had the original one, which is not done anymore, which is called RK, also known as radial keratotomy. That was done in the 80s and early 90s. That was before my time. I did not do any of those surgeries. But those patients, there was never really a good lens option for these patients, Josh, until now. With the light adjustable lens, we've seen just amazing outcomes, consistent outcomes. The light adjustable lens can correct nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism. It's a silicone lens that's very sensitive to UV light. So we purchased a device called the light delivery device that shines UV light into this new lens. So after we take your lens out, replace it with the light adjustable lens, 2 weeks later, we start the light treatments. Dr. Baker, my other colleague at the Juliette Eye Institute, is really the leader in this area, does an amazing job helping patients see at their very, very best. All of our patients love her, and hats off to her for all her hard work that she does in helping all of our patients. But in particular with the light adjustable lens, these patients are seeing 20/20. They're able to see up close and far now with the light adjustable lens. So that's an excellent option for patients as well, Josh.
That's fantastic. Yeah, light adjustable lens is something that we're all getting excited for, right? It really meets our definition of customizable vision here at the Juliette Eye Institute. So I'm very excited to talk more about it to patients, and then obviously get them scheduled for it too. And so we did a lot of those even today for surgery. So we're really excited about that as well. Some of these other questions, I'd love to get them answered just by knowing some things with surgery scheduling. What if insurance doesn't cover eye surgery? That's okay. Typically, that question is meant for something medical, so cataract surgery and such. Sometimes we hear that for LASIK. Traditionally, we don't accept insurances for LASIK or any of the elective or cosmetic surgeries. It's typically for medical, and we have a list of medical insurances on our website at Patient Resources there, so you can actually take a look to see if your insurance is accepted here at the Juliette Eye Institute. But it's mainly meant for cataract surgery aged patients, and we would only know that by coming in to get a visit. But traditionally, though, Dr. Melendez, we actually offer complimentary consultations for majority of our procedures like LASIK, RLE, PRK, EVO ICL, and Smile. So then that way you can at least come in, see what you're a candidate for, right? I mean, everyone thinks that they're a candidate for LASIK, but maybe there might be something better, to your point earlier, that's better than LASIK for that individual. And that's what we're really trying to accomplish, is making sure that we match the right procedure for their unique set of eyes, right? So that's fantastic. How much is surgery? How much is there financing? I'd love to answer that. Short answer is we don't know. No, we do know, but we don't know what you qualify for. So it's kind of unfair to give a vast range of procedural cost. But we do offer financing. Typically, it can go from anywhere from 200 for both eyes all the way up to $500 per eyes with special financing, 24 months, zero interest. So that way, it's a lot more doable than just having to pay it outright. It is your eyes, the most important sensory that we have. And of course, they're going to come with a little bit more of an investment, but it's well worth the investment from our earlier patients from today's meeting. And so it's fantastic. One thing I'd love to move into, Dr. Melendez, is what our potential patients can even expect from JEI. These are some photos of our lobby and lounge area. It's fantastic. This is our check-in area. This is where you're going to meet our front check-in gals, as well as take a seat in our lounge here. It's fantastic, nice and cozy. But we're really focused on three main points here at the Juliette Eye Institute of what you're really investing in when it comes to investing in your eyes, but really investing in the Juliette Eye Institute in itself. And the first thing is Dr. Melendez. Dr. Melendez brings 20 years of experience and over 25,000 eye surgeries to the table. What that means is if there's something that comes up, Dr. Melendez is able to put his knowledge to the test and really help the patient in whatever circumstance it is. And sometimes those circumstances is, we're not going to do surgery. We're okay with not doing someone's surgery because it's too risky. We're okay with saying that. But we're also okay with going through the step-by-step process with every patient to make sure that they're going to get an amazing outcome as well as we can get it there, as well as making sure that the patient's doing great before and after surgery. The second thing that we definitely want to highlight too is a patient experience. We're going to get to that here in just a bit. And then, of course, the last is coupling not just the experience with the patient, but really the most advanced technology that Dr. Melendez was talking about earlier. As Dr. Melendez and myself have gone over, as you can gather by now, we do 6 main surgeries here at the Juliette Eye Institute: Smile, LASIK, PRK, EVO ICL, cataract surgery, premium cataract surgery, and refractive lens exchange. And these procedures really go together to really make sure our patients do amazing after surgery. There isn't one surgery that's better than the rest. It just really comes down to the individual with the unique set of eyes. For that patient, that type of recommendation is the best because we want them to see 20/20, if not better, after surgery for a long period of time. Longevity is what we're shooting for. Dr. Melendez, do you have anything to add to this slide?
Yeah,
20 years is a long time.
thank you. It feels like yesterday. I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. So we really take the time and get to know each person individually. And I'm happy to report that our entire team does this consistently. By the time that the patient, peruses our website, calls our clinic, checks in at the front desk, chats with the technician, by the time I see him, the patients are so happy. I consistently hear, Josh, that patients say that our entire team is so professional and kind, considerate, knowledgeable, that they're already impressed and they haven't even met me. And so that's really our goal at the Juliette Eye Institute, to offer a premium patient experience. And then I take it over from there to offer them the most premium outcome that I know how with my many years of experience. I'm grateful for that. I have had many great mentors over the years. I'm committed to excellence, to improving what I know by attending numerous conferences throughout the year. We do a lot of clinical research, as I mentioned earlier, so we're committed to really analyzing our outcomes, looking for new ways to be better. I think that's key. And then just lastly, we have lots of financing options for those interested in surgery, whether you choose to pay for it out full right with your credit card or financing. As Josh mentioned, a good range that you will likely pay if you finance ranges anywhere from $200 to $500 per month for any of the procedures that we do. Smile, LASIK, and PRK are at the lower end. ICL is a little bit more, refractive lens exchanges is more, and then of course premium cataract surgery as well. But we do have lots of financing options. So if you're interested, call us. Josh is going to get you some information on how to do this in just a moment. Schedule that complimentary consultation. See for yourself if you're a good candidate. And if you're not, I'll let you know that. If you have something that's much more challenging or difficult that I feel like another surgeon in the community would do a better job with your case, I'm okay saying that. And I have a lot of great friends and colleagues in Albuquerque that also work with the Juliette Eye Institute to help us really meet your needs. If you need something more, whether you got a retina problem, I'll send you to the retina specialist, as you heard earlier with Wes, who ended up having a retinal tear and needed some laser treatment by the retina specialist. And I tell patients, I'm a big fan of cars, and I tell patients your eyes like a car. I mean, I'm kind of like the body and paint guy. I don't do engines or trannies or wiring. And so if you have other issues with your car, I'll send you to another specialist to make sure that your car, or your eye in this case, is in tip-top shape first, but before we start painting it. And so we're really just committed to giving you that premium outcome, not rushing into anything, trying to spend quality time in answering your questions. Josh and his team on the marketing side do a phenomenal job in creating communicational brochures, our website, always updating that to make sure that your frequently asked questions get answered in a timely fashion. If you have questions, send us an email, call us. I usually don't talk to patients during the daytime hours until maybe the end of the day, or maybe early morning. Happy to jump on a call or even a Zoom call just like this. We do a lot of virtual consults. So if you have a very busy schedule, Josh and his team can help get you scheduled for a virtual consult. We'll jump on a call and I'm happy to answer those questions for you.
Thanks, Dr. Melendez. Second thing that you're investing here at the Juliette Eye Institute is a premium patient experience. And as you heard from our panelists earlier, we really take initiative to really make sure everyone has a unique experience here at the Juliette Eye Institute. We actually just won 2024 Albuquerque Magazine Best of the City for healthcare patient experience. So we're very proud about that. Obviously, this is just an award, but we really take pride and we take initiative, as I mentioned, to really make sure that every patient is well cared for. And so this is Lobo Lou. We're actually the preferred eye care provider for the Lobos too. Some of our staff just having fun. Me in the lower right looking funny. But it's definitely something we want to highlight when it comes to first walking in. It's not a hospital setting, number one. It's almost like I think it was either Steve or Wes said it. They said it was like coming into like a fancy hotel or the Ritz-Carlton earlier, which is a great comparison, because we're not just trying to make it look nice. We're really trying to be the product, right? Be the example of what we want out of this experience. And third and last is what the last component that we need to make our patients' outcome fantastic. And that's investing in the latest advancements in technology. There are many practices that claim they have the most up-to-date modern technology, but when it comes to actually doing those things and staying up to date, you can rest assured that we are actually taking initiative. As you heard Dr. Melendez, there's different lenses for refractive lens exchange or cataract surgery that are coming out on the market. We're taking the first steps amongst our peers to really start that conversation of how do we get these lenses to better match it with our patients, to have a better outcome for that patient instead of maybe an older lens that we've used, because we care. And I think that goes to show the ability that Dr. Melendez and the love that he has for his patients, to have the best experience, to love their vision, to brag about their vision, and to live the rest of their life, even if they're 45 years old, but the rest of their life, all the way up until 102 or however long it is, with fantastic vision, And it's something that we take great pride in. Dr. Melendez, do you have any comments about the latest advancements that you've instilled in Juliette Eye Institute?
Absolutely. We're definitely proud of using the most advanced technologies, Josh, but what we're most proud about is really just caring for our patients. That I know that might sound like a cliche, but our team is committed to bringing you into the practice, making sure that you feel comfortable, making sure all your questions are being answered, making sure you feel confident that you've chosen the correct procedure. And once you've chosen that correct procedure, rest assured that we've invested in the latest technologies to get you to the final outcome and to get you that premium outcome. So we don't really lead with advanced technology. That should just be a given that anyone in the market doing these premium surgeries should already have these. And we know that we're the only ones in the state to offer all of these latest technologies. I'm looking at all these different devices on this slide. They may not mean anything to you, but within our profession, of ophthalmology, I know these are the latest technologies. Like the bottom left is the light delivery device. We're the first to usher the light adjustable lens into Albuquerque. That's amazing. This device next to the number 3 is called an Argos biometer. That's a laser device that measures the length of your human eye to give us the best outcome so that you can see without glasses. We're the first in Albuquerque and the state to even do that and purchase that device. We just purchased a second one. We've done research. I've published research papers, Josh, on this particular device. And if you want to read these articles, we're happy to share that. I think that's probably a good idea. That'll be one of our next projects that we'll be sharing. We're the first to offer laser cataract surgery in Albuquerque, which is really one of our newer gold standards. And many of the other devices, I can share lots of stories, but I just want you to know that we're committed to offering a premium patient experience and a premium outcome in just a beautiful environment. This is not a hospital setting. It's very intimate. We literally know you by name. We purchase all your drops for you. We're not sending you to a pharmacy for you to wait in line and to only get the message that they don't have it, and you have to call us and have to go call another pharmacy. That's really not a premium patient experience. So let us prove it to you that we're going to offer that premium patient experience, and let us prove it to you that we can achieve a premium refractive outcome. Sometimes you might need a second procedure if your prescription is too high or you have a unique story, but we have all the technology in our building. Our surgery is done in our same facility as our clinic. We're the only clinic in the state that has their office-based surgery suite in their actual facility. And I'm also very excited to announce that we're opening a new second location in Santa Fe in just a few short months to offer great experience, great care to northern New Mexico from Santa Fe and beyond. So be looking for that new office in Santa Fe.
Thanks, Dr. M. And that concludes what we have for our guests here tonight. One of the biggest questions I always ask people: are you guys excited? Vision can be a little intimidating, a little scary, but at the end of the day, we want every patient to see themselves without glasses, without contacts, without reading glasses. Imagine your favorite topic as we started from the very beginning. Your favorite thing to do, your sport, your love, your hobby. What is it? We shared some with fishing. I love fishing. I love basketball. I love working out. I could not imagine still doing those today, knowing the vision I have now, without going to get a consult from Dr. Melendez, without having taken that first step just to see if I'm a candidate or what I'm a candidate for in terms of lasting vision and confident vision moving forward. And so if you're excited for us, for yourself rather tonight, and excited about what you've heard about tonight and want to hear more, listen more, come in for your complimentary consultation. We're happy to set that up. You can email me directly at marketingdirector@julietteeye.com. You can also reach me at my work cell phone at 505-871-1400. Be happy to get something set up. Dr. Melendez also mentioned that we do offer virtual consultations. It takes about 15 minutes. We'll get to know you a little bit more on a personal level. In addition, we'll also get to kind of maybe get to know some about your history as well, prescription, and kind of identify, very superficially of what you could potentially be a candidate for, but really have that conversation of your goals before and after surgery, so that way you can anticipate these things. We're really catered to really giving and offering a premium patient experience while coupling it with the latest advanced technology. And we're happy to do that, and get those things set up for the new year of 2025 and years to come. So we're very excited that you've joined us throughout this webinar, and stayed with us. Dr. Melendez, do you have any final remarks before we end the night?
Just wanted to say thank you to everyone for joining our webinar and really trying to learn more about vision correction procedure. Just remember, we're committed to offering a customized vision outcome for you. We offer 6 premium surgeries to correct and restore your vision, to get you out of glasses, contacts, or ditch those reading glasses. We have a lot of procedures, and yes, we can correct your astigmatism. That's probably the most frequently asked question I get asked. Josh, can you correct my astigmatism? Yes, we can. We have every piece of technology device in our surgery center to correct that. We also can correct nearsightedness and farsightedness. But really, don't focus on that. Focus on where you really want to be in the future, doing these activities that you want to do, whether it's seeing your grandchildren, doing sports, going on that summer vacation and hanging out on the beach or by the pool and doing those activities without contacts or glasses. We want to see you there doing those activities that you really love and enjoy. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Josh, for moderating the session.
Of course. Thank you, Dr. Melendez, for joining us. Again, if you have any questions, marketingdirector@julietteeye.com, as well as you can reach me on my cell phone, 505-871-1400. Other than that, you all have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk with you very soon. Bye now.
Bye-bye.